to another Pints and Previews night for Everfest Flesh and Blood. We are in the middle of spoiler season. This is going to be day 3. We have some little bits from day 2 also bleeding into here from the later nights. But again, before we get into these cards, I want to make sure that everyone goes and checks out the creators that are making these wonderful pieces of art that people are doing. So whether it be a Twitter post, show them some love on Twitter, or if they're making these nice in-depth videos, streaming this big long conversation, make sure you go and watch it. No, don't just look at the preview. Show them love. They work a lot. They work hard on these things. So that is about it. Let's jump right into the spoilers. All right, so we have 3 from Outcast Haven from last night. So we have Amulet of Echoes is the first one. This is a generic item. It's a 3-pitch, 0 cost. Nice old little amulet. So it says, go again, instant. Destroy Amulet of Echoes. Target hero discards 2 cards. Activate this ability only if they play 2 or more cards with the same name this turn. So very edge case, very corner case, but also can be pretty powerful on some of those turns that are actually coming in for a fair amount of damage. I mean, those double barrage and beatdown turns. I mean, shoot, like we're going to see some ninja cards that are going to have it, that are going to see later from Kugane that are pretty brutal if we see pairs of. Lumina Ascension, same sort of thing. There's definitely some combo turns that use the same card to really strike fear into the enemies. So this is like a corner case for that. Is it really playable? I mean, you don't lose your momentum because it does have go again when you play it, but it does block for nothing. It pitch for 3, which isn't bad, but it's not mega powerful, and it's very corner case. So maybe not gonna see too much play. I love the double ears on this card though. It's very, very odd. It looks like a bell, which makes sense. Echoes. All right, another one from Outcast Haven is Potion of Deja Vu. We have again a blue pitch 0 cost generic action item. No go again here, so you're gonna be playing out. You're gonna lose momentum. It says instant, destroy Potion of Deja Vu. Put all cards from your pitch zone on top of your deck in any order, and then opponents do not get to see the order of the cards. So for there are definitely some matches where you can have some amazing amounts of pitching going on. I was playing in an armory against a Lightning Lexi match, and I think they ended up with it was definitely not your average turn, but it was like 6 or 7 cards in the pitch zone at the end, and like they could be very, very powerful. Not that you'd want to play this in Ranger at all, but and then again, I don't really know about if playing Ranger all that much, but it's really cool because maybe you have to pitch a card like playing Guardian, Terra Sunder, fantastic card. Pitch it early, right? If you get it late, but it really doesn't work with your turn or your hand, you got to pitch it. But if you have one of these, you can get it back on top of your deck. I mean, make it work with what else you're going to draw, and it could be a much better turn for you. So I do like that you have that ability to manipulate things in a little bit more recency, and you don't have to worry about your secondary run through your deck. And this is like your pitch stacking. The LSS gave that hint about. It's definitely a different kind of pitch stacking. So yeah, the no-go again is kind of painful, as well as the no blocks, but that's kind of all items. So not really sure how much we're gonna see. I love the art in this. I like that. I love the hourglass in there. It looks like this nice dodecahedron thing. It's the color scheme is great. It's definitely a psychedelic brew there. All right, last one from Outcast Havens is Talisman of Balance. Again, 3-pitch 0 cost generic action item. Go again. At the beginning of your end phase, if you have less cards in your arsenal than your opposing hero, destroy Talisman of Balance and put the top card of your deck into an empty zone, arsenal zone you control. So nice way to balance out the arsenal slot. This is not a may. This will happen. So if there is any time where you pass the turn, you don't have something in your arsenal, and they do, you will rip that card off the top and slam it down the arsenal. So it's not a may. It's a must. That makes it a little bit less exciting. There is some control that your opponent has in that regard, because if they are not arsenaling, then you don't get any benefit there. I mean, obviously you're messing with their play strategy if they are intentionally not arsenaling because of this. It's probably not worth playing around the whole game, because one extra card over the whole game is maybe not that great. Maybe you want to get rid of it early. So this is better to play it later, because then you're like more stressed to like, all right, do I really want to give them another like a 5th card in this turn if I'm going to be, if it's late in the game, that sort of thing. That's where that sort of like strategy comes in there. Outside of that, you can also like actively deny this. You just have to keep a card in your hands, throw it in your arsenal if your opponent has something in your arsenal. So I think it's got to really see. Maybe it's great for some aggressive decks as a sort of safety net to like, cool, I might run out of gas and not be able to draw into a card, something like that. Like the old Cheerios Briar probably wouldn't play this, but like this could be the kind of deck that might want to play it because they want to make sure they have something in arsenal for that next turn. Okay, on to day 3 spoilers, actually. These ones, past 3 were from day 2. So day 3, we have Watch Flake as our first one. This is Amulet of Oblation. So this is a 3-pitch 0 cost generic action item. Go again, instant. Destroy Amulet of Oblation until the end of turn. Target attacking card gains if this would be put in a graveyard. Instead, put it in the bottom of your owner's deck. Activate this ability only if a card has entered the graveyard this turn. So it's sort of like the Drone of a Brutality on a stick sort of thing. You can make something have the drone effect to go boom, slap it on the bottom of your deck afterwards. I think it's again, corner case really nice. Like you have maybe legendary cards that you want to play again. They only have one copy in your deck. It's a way to get it back into the deck. Outside of that, it's like you don't lose your momentum because it does have to go again. But like, does it really matter all that much if you can only do it once? I mean, sure, 3 times if you have 3 of them in your deck, which you don't want to do really because it's kind of a crazy thing to do. I don't really know. I think it's probably not going to see a whole lot of play. I love the idea behind it. You can choose to get these back, and it's flexible in that regard. So you get to choose when you want to do it. It is flexible in also that you can use it on like when you're attacking to get something that you played back, or if you have to block with something that you really like, you can get it back as well. So there's some flexibility there. Yes, you have to have something go to the graveyard, but that's not necessarily the hardest thing to do. And again, it's an instant speed. You throw it out early, and then you have it whenever you need to. That is that. Then we actually have our spoiler card. So we had a spoiler card from LSS. Thank you again, LSS. It is Healing Potion. So we had a wonderful video that we put a lot of work into, so I hope you guys like it. But it's a 3-pitch, 0 cost, generic action item. Action, destroy Healing Potion, gain 2 life, go again. So definitely very bare bones card in the sense of all it does is gain life. It does have the momentum loss as well, so you do play this out. It does take an action. That's kind of rough. But you can gain some life. It's on per resource of pitch value, it's actually better than the Red Sigil, but people mostly don't think about that. They just, if they're playing Red Sigil, you're going for the life gain. So are you gonna really play this? Doesn't have the great synergy that you would see with the Red Sigil because it is not instant. So if it's stuck in your arsenal or something like that, and you're not playing Icelander, you can't really play this out. If it's gonna get bombed by CNC or whatever, it's just gonna get bombed. But that's it. It's a beautiful card. It is a wonderfully written or drawn like little masterpiece of a world in there. So. Great looking card. Probably not going to see all that much play. Next one is Garbage Andy. We have Talisman of Cremation. Again, 3-pitch, 0 cost, generic action item. Go again. When you play a card from your banish zone, destroy Talisman of Cremation and name a card. Banish all cards the chosen name from your opposing hero's graveyard. So again, when you play, it's not when you play you may. It's you just do this. So when you play something on your arsenal zone, or sorry, out of your banish zone, you're going to pop this and you're going to take something out of the graveyard. So in that regard, it's very important when you play this because you will not have another chance to do anything about it, and that's kind of important when this thing is here. So you got to worry about in that regard. Also, it's a little bit corner case. There's not that many heroes playing out of their banish zone. I mean, Chain does it all the time. There are other cards that allow you to banish things. We're seeing some in this set temporarily, like you can banish it, you can play it land in a turn, something like that. Outside of that, there's not a lot of usage here for this card, so maybe we're going to see some more things that really do more with this talisman. It's kind of hard to say at this point. I don't really know. And then at the same time, are there really a lot of decks that are playing enough recursion to make it worth playing in the first place? Like, are people really playing loads of remembrances or pulling things out of graveyard? Maybe not yet. I mean, remembrance is nice, but doesn't block as well. So it's kind of hard to say. But I think probably not going to see a whole lot of play. Love the card. Not going to see a lot of play. Next one is Sloop Dupe. We have Crown of Reflection. This is an Illusionist equipment head. Blocks for 0. Arcane Barrier 1. Instant. Destroy Crown of Reflection. Destroy target Illusionist aura you control. If you do, you may put an Illusionist aura card from your hand to the arena with cost less or equal to the destroyed auras. Less than equal to the aura destroyed this way. Activate Crown of Reflection only during your action phase. So it's only on your turn. So you can't, like, when someone goes to swing at it, pop it and then replay because it's not on it's on your turn. So in that regard, there's a lot less utility here. But what we're expecting to see, and we will likely see, are new auras. At least you'd hope you see new auras that will hopefully be more exciting on entering or being destroyed or something like that. So you can you can destroy this. You get some sort of effect for popping an aura on the battlefield. Swap one onto the battlefield from your hand, and hopefully you're going to get like maybe 2 kinds of a benefit, effect from those things. We don't really know at this point. That's hopefully the case. Otherwise, it's like, cool, I can freely trade an aura on the board. I mean, yes, I guess if you're looking for a different aura on board and then the cost seems to work out, then great, you can do that for free. But you're costing yourself an Arcane Barrier. Maybe that's not a problem. Who really knows? Kind of an odd card. All right, now we have our first weapon. This is Dreadbore. This is Red Zone Rogues. It's a Ranger bow. We have a 2-handed bow, like as we expected. And it is incredibly brutal looking. It definitely looks like a major steampunk, like, brass knuckle handle spikes. It's pretty gnarly looking. So definitely aptly named. It says, once per turn action, 1 resource, you may put an arrow card from your hand face up into your empty arsenal zone you control. If you do, it gains +1 until end turn, go again. On the face, not great. Works really well with Bolt and Shot. That was our Tales of Aria preview card. Thank you for that. Giving it go again. So in that regard, it's really nice, but +1 isn't really all that great all that often. So, I mean, is it really going to matter? Meh, it probably will do some extra damage, something like that. But the real meat and potatoes are the arrows you control. This is a static effect. Arrows you control have defense reactions can't be played from hand this chain link. And that is every arrow you have. So no cards that you have in your deck that are arrows when this is out will be defendable via defense reaction from hand. So not a full blockout like CNC or anything like that, but it's still something that's going to take away a lot of the roadblocks that, you know, Ranger, Azalea particularly would see. Because, like, really it's about most are going really high with these single arrows that have really nice on-hit effects that can help the turn progress even more later. But a lot of times you're really able to block that out with defense reactions and just made for a not fun time. Hopefully this will bring, you know, Azalea back into the playable realm and give some people some more fun. So that's really cool. So that was, again, Red Zone Rogues spoiler there. All right, now we have the Wraith Times. They have Vexing Quilhand. This is a Runeblood equipment for the arms. Blocks for 0, has Arcane Barrier 1. A lot of that nice Arcane Barrier here. Action, destroy Vexing Quilhand, create 2 Rune Chant tokens, go again. Now, let's stop before we talk about the card. Look at this art. I'm just gonna have a sip here. Look at this art. That is some gnarly stuff. Looking like fun, fancy, blood-infused, like, glowing ink, right? With a gnarly looking feather. And this mutilated, you know, rune scarred skin, this weird glow. It's just weird. Very weird. Anyways, into the card. So it's nice. I mean, it can really accelerate like OTK decks that are really looking to get like a critical mass of rune chance. This is a free 2 rune chance. The gloves, you're giving up that 3 block over to like 1-2 block over time, which is a large amount of damage, particularly in Blitz if you're going to be going for Blitz. Outside of that, like, it's free. That's the thing that matters. It's free. It's on demand whenever you sort of need to on your turn. It's not like, oh, cool, I got to pitch some value for this. Like the arcane, like the Grasp of the Arcanite only matters early if you're playing OTK, right? You're going to use it then. You're not going to use it. You have 26 rune chance, right? It doesn't do anything. It's way too expensive. You can't possibly do it. So this, in that regard, makes it a little bit more exciting. And the Arcane Barrier is not bad. So it's really a balance between can you give up that armor or not. It's very interesting. I'm hoping that we can see some aggro decks appear via this card. I think it's really cool. Next one we have Fab with Matt. We got 2 from Fab with Matt. This first one is Dissolution Sphere. This is a Mechanologist action item. 2 cost, 2 pitch. Dissolution Sphere enters the battlefield with a Steam counter, single one. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Dissolution Sphere unless you remove a Steam counter from it. And it says, when your hero would be dealt damage or dealt exactly 1 damage, prevent it. So this is like, cool. Rune chance? No. So it just wipes away any kind of single point damage. So like Kodachis, Rune chance, anything that's just like pecking away at you, like incidental arcane damage that are coming from like stuff from Tales of Aria, whatever. Like the things that hit over for 1 more in Arcane Riot or in Tales of Aria. So lots of, you know, little pecks and things like that. Like a lot of ninja attacks are going to be low power. So this is like, even if it was just Rune chance, being able to wipe away that stuff for what essentially 3 turns. Not going to be activating Rune chance on the turn that you play this out. But theoretically, that first turn, you play this out, the rest of your turn, everything's reduced. So if there's a wizard that's shooting you for 1, that's gonna they won't do that, but that's not the point. Then last through their turn, into your next turn, and through their next turn. So you get 2 full turn cycles plus the partial turn when you actually started. So that's quite a bit of actual protection. And if you can play this out when an OTK Rune Chant deck is like getting ready to like pop off and throw those things in your face, like cool, just cool. You're gonna either have to wait 2 turns, or I'm just gonna like roll you over or whatever. So super powerful, super exciting. I really, really love it. That is the first one. Second one is Signal Jammer. This is a 0 cost, 3 pitch. Also, like, I guess the Dissolution Sphere kind of expensive, but it is probably worth it. Signal Jammer is a 0 cost, 3 pitch Mechanologist action item. It says it enters with 1 Steam counter. At the beginning, you remove 1, just like we always do. And then it says each hero can't play more than 1 non-attack action card each turn. Symmetrical. So you can't, they can't, just can't happen. Again, 2 turns plus the turn you play it. This will probably not matter for most mechanologists. They're activating things, they're not really playing a whole lot, and frankly, the non-attacks that mechanologists have are not super great. So likely this is like a nice way to be like a speed bump for some boost decks. Like, cool, I'm gonna slow someone down by throwing this out. Like, totally hoses wizards, right? Some of the maybe some warrior Runeblade decks, whatever, totally hoses them, right? Like wizards are like, cool, I can play one thing because it doesn't. They're not attack shots to say that you may play them as though they were instants. I don't actually know how that rules, but they still are being played as non-attacks. They can just be played as though they were. They still aren't. So in that regard, it really just hoses them out pretty hardcore. So in that regard, I can really dig this as sideboard tech in that regard, or a late game sort of control card for maybe decks that might want to play 1 to 2, not only wizard, but like some decks that might be more non-attack heavy. You just throw this out as like a sort of a speed bump later in the game to like, cool, I'm just going to still keep boosting and blasting, and you're just going to have to do one thing, one non-attack a turn. So you can definitely see that being kind of exciting. All right, Kugane Gaming, 2 cards. Of course, ninja cards, right? First one is 100 Wins. This is a red pitch, 0 cost, 3 attack, 2 defense, ninja attack action. It says combo. If 100 Wins was the last attack this combat chain, this attack gains +1 for each other card named 100 Wins you control on the combat chain. Go again. So combos with itself, and they just buff up to city craziness. It is a rare, so likely we're going to see all 3 color pairs or color pitches. So we're going to see 9 copies of this in a CC deck if you wanted to play it. So definitely, definitely capable of going a little bit nutty. Ninjas have a lot of ways to draw cards, whether that be through mask triggers or on-hit effects that may be drawing. I mean, I guess we're no longer plunder running, but there's still ways to draw cards as a ninja. So I think you can really make this thing do some damage if you pitch stack set up for later in the game, or maybe there's a way to search things out or things like that. I definitely think it could be some crazy combos with this card. And it actually pairs wonderfully with our next card from Kugane Gaming, which is Winds of Eternity. So this is a majestic, so 3 pitch, 0 cost, 2 attack, 3 defense, ninja action, attack. It says combo. If 100 Wins, which is the last card we just saw, was the last attack on this combat chain, Winds of Eternity gains +2, and when it hits, shuffle all cards named 100 Wins you own on the combat chain into your deck. So really looking to go hard on the 100 Wins. Play a whole bunch out. They're all free. All these cards are free. Try to get some triggers. You can draw some extra cards. Have one in arsenal. Try to go as hard as you can, because all the ones on the chain are going to go back into your deck. You can get this back with something else if you wanted to. So that's where we saw that the card that allows you to get things back. Like, this is one of those ones. Yeah, it's not legendary. You're gonna have 3 copies in your deck, right? But maybe if you can shuffle back your 100 wins, you can really keep those wins going. So very exciting card there. I don't know enough about Ninja to see like the amazing like excitement out of this outside of what I talked about, which is like kind of like Magical World. But Kugane, check him out. I'm sure he will have an amazing deck, probably gameplay video deck tech for something that's going to abuse his card to no end. So definitely be ready to check him out. All right, second to last, we have from Tower number 9, we have Oath of Steel. This is a 1 pitch, 0 cost warrior action, 3 defense. Whenever you attack with a weapon this turn, put a +1 counter on it. At the beginning of your end phase, remove all +1 counters from weapons you control. Go again. So a brutal card if you're trying to go, multi-whacking hammer or not hammer, sword, axes, that sort of thing. So obviously great with sabers, right? These things, as long as you can attack with multiple lines, this is going to be like chopping up even higher every time you go. There's some way to make that go wild with with weapons. It's going to be incredible. Obviously, really poor synergy with Raiden and Dawnblade, right? Does not, like, cool, I got an extra counter. If you have any more counters on the Dawnblade, they're just going to go away at the end of the turn. It does not discriminate. It's any counters. So like Lumina Ascension turns with weapon like hatchets or sabers is just going to be incredible. Like, you can throw Spill Blood in there with the hatchets too. That would make it even more exciting, incredible, powerful. I really can't wait to see the kind of combos and high levels of damage that people are going to be able to just make happen with this card. And imagine it. Oh man, yeah. So I'm excited to see what this does. I think it'll be really cool. Maybe some explosive, aggressive decks, or just like waiting for those turns, the Saber Bolton turns that are just like amazing. We'll have to wait and see. And last but certainly not least, and the video was really well done. We have a KO specialization. This is Ready to Roll. 3 pitch, 0 cost, brute action, defense for 3, KO specialization. If you roll if you roll 1 or more dice this turn, instead roll that many dice +1 and ignore the lowest roll. Go again. So we know that KO is a gambler. He's definitely addicted. He does not have any help. He's full on gambler. All of his actual weapon attacks are all going to be halved or doubled based on dice rolls, and this just gives you that much more of a chance to get that double buff. So very exciting. I think the the main thing is really, when are you gonna play this out? Like, when is the turn you want to do it? Like, you got to plan for it, because like, cool, like you can go heavy duty with scab skins on here too, right? You can try to activate that and get 2 chances at getting an extra action point. And I don't think you're gonna want to use this just to do that, unless you have some weird, amazing way to generate a lot of cards and do some things and have the resources to do things. But outside that, you really got to plan when this is gonna happen. Um, and I think it can be really exciting. I mean, it is only a Blitz character right now, Blitz hero, so you'll have to work around that. But I think it'll be a pretty exciting card, and I'm excited to see what kind of weird shenanigans you can do with it ready to roll. So that is all of the spoilers for day 3. We're gonna have the stage 4 spoilers on the screen over here. You can check all those wonderful creators out, and that will be it. So I want to say thank you for joining us for another Pints Previews. We'll see you next time. Cheers.